Okay, welcome back. Tammy Collins here, and we are continuing on with our creative exploration from the first episode with our experiment with tissue paper. And given the recording capabilities of doing things live and in real time, it presents a few challenges. And those I didn't anticipate, but I'm not going to let those stop me from moving forward with where I'm going and what I'm trying to do with this channel and what's happening. So we're back here now. We've picked up in the process from the previous Creative Exploration 1, and we are moving along with our intuitive creation. So with this, I don't think ahead of time about what's happening at all, really. I sit down, as you saw in the first one, I sit down, I just sort of go, what does this page want from me? What am I doing? And I just let it flow. It was actually a hard thing for me to learn to do. And it's a big part of why I am actually doing this channel. So what's happening right now is I did some intuitive doodling, and you saw that in the first part, and we're picking up now in the second phase, and I'm adding in another layer here. And these are Posca markers, one of my absolute most favorite tools to use. And these particular ones are this one now that we're looking at is brown. It's just a brown, but the one that was being used previously is gold metallic. And I'm just going to go along and add some details here. And one of the best parts about this intuitive creation is that you're giving yourself permission to just play with the materials, right? So one of the things that I really had to learn was that sitting down to create didn't mean I had to make a masterpiece. And that was kind of a strange thing to think about, and I don't know if I was cognitively thinking that on the surface, but having that realization removes so much pressure from what needed to happen during my creation time. And so right now I'm just kind of coming back in and cleaning up a little bit around the edges and getting them nice and sharp. I notice that I'm going off screen a lot. And now I'm just using a white one. I really love to add in this white aspect. It just really gives such a pop of contrast and vibrancy to pieces. So one of the things I noticed that, this channel is new. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. And, I suffer with some perfectionism issues and also with being recorded on camera, whatever you want to call that. And I let those fears, insecurities, head trash, whatever you want to call it, keep me from doing what I wanted to do before. And I'm no longer doing that. I'm pushing through my discomfort to go forward. And so the reason I'm telling you that is because there's a million reasons that I could have canceled or put off or delayed the channel one more time, right? So there's always some issue. So here's a great one. Right now I notice that the lighting is terrible in this, and I realize that I need to get a better light, but I could have easily have said, oh, I can't start the channel yet because I don't have the perfect light. So because I made sort of a commitment to myself to no longer do that, I had to move forward with the video anyway, despite the lighting issues, right? So that's a really great example, and to really see that play out here is also kind of a lesson in and of itself for you. I also noticed that my position of my camera, I tend to pull my work towards me very closely, so I'm kind of almost out of camera frame here and there. But I think you'll forgive me for that, right? So I'm just continuing to add the white on here. The other thing I'm noticing is that I found that I didn't want to talk while I was creating. And the reason that I didn't want to do that is because it disrupts the creative process. So I would start to be thinking more about what I had to say to you, what I wanted to say, or what I was doing or talking about. And it really, really messed with the creative process. So what I've ultimately decided is to go ahead and just create. I literally turn on the camera and record that all live as it happens. And then I'll just come back and make a few quick edits. And what I mean by those edits, for example, I might have to get up and walk away or go find materials, or there's a big lag time in the recording. I'll cut out those, but everything else is happening in real time. I do speed up the video double time just to kind of keep the video a little cleaner and moving along. Real time can be a little too real time, but the creation itself is happening in real time. I am just letting it speak to me. I don't go in with any sort of plan. When I sat down to do this particular video, I had no idea I was going to do this. So the inspiration of the moment was to do some trial and error with the tissue paper. And I realized quickly that in real time was problematic because I had to wait for those things to dry and didn't plan it ahead of time, right? So that's real time creation. So I decided in the spur of the moment, just like I would normally do, is, oh, well, I have these colors out. Let's work and add it into our little journal here. And so that's an example of just letting the inspiration control your creation and your moment there. And so what you're looking at here is, and let me know in the comments if you would like, I can do a video on this little journal. This is actually an upcycled journal that I made from a magazine. It's really, really simple to do, and it's a great way to get paper and material to create on. And so this is from a magazine, and it's the way it's cut and folded and so forth and so on. And I put a acrylic white gesso on the pages first, just to give the, magazine pages can be a little shiny and have strong contrast. A lot of times a lot of black ink, and I just wanted to give the page a little more weight and a little bit more, that acrylic gesso has a nice feel. And so then, as you saw in the other video, we prepped the pages with the colors that we were working on, and now I'm continuing on with the doodle. I think one of the biggest problems with doing a YouTube channel like this is the need to fill every space, right? It's okay to just sit and watch me create without me having to talk the entire time, right? What do you think? There's lots of different ways that you can doodle. This one is, it's just sort of a free flow. It's based off of I believe it's a Polish artist, and he created a neurographic method of doing this type of doodle. He calls it neurographic art. And he has a very specific process that you go through, and it has some very important therapeutic advantages. And so I've sort of followed that a little bit, but it has my own little spin on what I'm doing. I will link that information in the comment or in the information box for you if you want to learn more about that. There are a lot of people that sort of do that type of technique. He sort of has trademarked the methodology that he uses. Everybody sort of has a little bit of an adaptation of certain things. So now I'm going to add in another layer that I always like to do. It adds in some more detail. I wasn't real thrilled with this. It's a green gel. I love the gel pens. They can be really, really great and add some nice detail. And as you can see, I have another green one, and I thought, well, maybe this one's be better, and it's not really. One of them is a Papermate, I believe it's a Papermate gel, and the other one is I don't even know. It's not my go-to. My go-to is sort of the, what are these called? The Pilot G2. Those are my go-to. But the green one there, I don't even know what that is. Oh, here it is. Let's see. What is that called? Never even heard of this. Acro Ball. Some sort of green. It's a Pilot pen, but I think that the tip may be too small for the flow of the ink, and that could be the problem. So here I'm, of course, pulling it a little too close. And I'm just sort of creating almost what looks like random rock shapes, kind of. I guess in my mind, that's what I was doing, creating sort of almost like a cobblestone effect. But again, I didn't really plan it. I'm just sort of letting the inspiration of the moment take over, and I'm just following that. I've really enjoyed that process, and I really think it opens a lot of doors. It really helps to open your mind. It really helps to, it's very meditative. It's honoring your sort of your inner self and letting your own creativity sort of surface. And it's very freeing process. I'm actually going to be doing more of a, I don't know if it's a workshop or a class or an instruction, maybe it's just a video, but I'm going to do something more focused on the process of keeping a creative journal, and more specifically an intuitive creative journal that's designed to really help you uncover some of your style and what your own creativity is. I struggled very much with the style question, if you will, when someone says, when you say you're an artist and they say, oh, well, what's your style? What do you do? And I understand why they're asking that question. But for me, I always became paralyzed. Why? Because I work in so many mediums. I think most artists they're creators. They create with everything. They create all the time. They don't want to box themselves into any one specific thing. They don't want to, and I think that, or at least for me, I didn't feel adept enough at any one particular thing to sort of go, yes, this is it. I'm committing to this for now and forever. And so I don't think that people really took me seriously. And so keeping a intuitive creative journal really helps you hone in on some things. One of the things I realized is that I love all art styles, but I noticed that I tended to lean much more towards mixed media and abstraction, like being abstract. I've done portraits, specifically animals or pet portraits, in that realism, or trying to be more in the realism realm. And while I love it, I don't see that it wasn't as inspiring to me. I have such reverence for the patience and the ability to do that at such a high level, but it doesn't force one to think. I don't think, in my opinion, it doesn't make someone wonder or be inspired by, I feel like when you're working more in an abstract plane, it forces the user to have more of an experience or an emotional reaction. And I'm after that, creating that spark. And that's really important to me in other people, because I want to inspire people to be creative. And so in my intuitive creative journaling process, I began to realize that I could focus in more on and do a realism style, but I don't think that's where I want to go. And so the point is that when you do a creative journal, like the intuitive style, you begin to see what you really love. You'll, pick up um, specific materials or mediums that you really just gravitate to over and over and over again. And you'll notice that. So I'm really gravitating to markers, specific types of markers, and I'm repeating. And then I'm just exploring with shapes and styles and things of that nature. So let me know if you have an interest in me creating something along those lines. I'm happy to share and make a video about keeping an intuitive creative journal. So now I'm going to add in the same concept, but I went with a purple. And this is a much better gel pen. These are the G2s. They're really great. So don't forget to like and share this video if you have other friends or people that would be interested in this type of a video. I realize it's not perfect, but around here I run with the imperfectly perfect motto, because otherwise that perfectionism would just keep me in a box in a corner. And so I've learned to let that go and give up on that. But be sure to like and subscribe. Of course, share anything, to support the channel is wonderful. Be sure to let me know in the comments, what you like, what you didn't like, what do you want to see? Did I mention something you want to know more about? Is there something in the video that you want to get more detail on or do more or learn more about? Let me know. In the information section, I will, of course, link you to my socials and, of course, my website. I do have originals and prints for sale and some interesting products and calendars and note cards and things of that nature, and even gift certificates. And I do original commissions. Be sure to let me know if you are an artist. Let me know. I'm happy to follow you and connect with you on your channels. Right now I'm kind of regretting that the green wasn't as powerful as the purple, but it's okay. I really have to work on staying more in frame to move my camera next time. So if you want to see the beginning of this and how we got to this point with the doodle, you can go back and watch the number 1 in the creative exploration, where it starts off with some tissue paper, because remember, I'm doing in real-time creation, and many times I don't just sit down to work on one particular thing. I just go with, I'm inspired to do this in the moment. And so the number 1 video starts off with me doing a technique where I'm sort of painting tissue paper. And then I had to wait for that to dry, and then I moved into this project in my creative journal. And so you can see how I prep the pages for this in video 1. And then stay tuned for this is video 2, and there'll be a third video where I actually show you the tissue paper after it's been dried, and then I will use it in an application. I think I may put it right into this creative journal. I'm liking uh, this color combination. I want to explore it a little bit more. Isn't it funny how we sort of get attached to a piece in a particular upright position, or, if you notice, I'll flip it back to this is the way I think it goes. Sometimes I'll work on a piece and then I kind of go, well, I can't think of anything else I want to do with this right now. And I don't know, maybe it's done. And then I might come back to it later and go, oh, maybe I need to add this to that. I sometimes can't see what I'm working on at a certain point when I'm in the creation. And so what I mean by that is you kind of become into the piece and what's happening, and so you need to kind of remove yourself and step out of it. It's almost like walking away for an hour and then coming back and looking at it. You'll see something completely different. A little trick that I have is I take a picture with my phone and then look at it through the photo library, and I'll see it completely different than I do when I'm actually creating it. That's a really great tip. So I don't know, I'm adding some dots. I was led to add some dots, so we'll put some dots in. I love the precision of cleaning up those lines. So I'm taking a black gel pen now and sort of just around the white ones, just creating sort of just around the white ones where I put the dots, just to give it, because now all the other ones sort of have that clean line. So at this point I'm kind of going, what does it want me to do? So I'm getting a gray Posca marker. I don't know if it's Posca. I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And so I'm sort of blocking off some of the area with a solid I didn't really think about that too hard. It just came to me and I did it. Just an exploration. I don't know how I feel about it. And so now I'm creating some balance and symmetry. do tend to lean towards structure a little bit, which is something else that I'm learning through my intuitive creative journaling. So now I'm like, what am I doing? What should I do here? I kind of regretted this move after I did it. First of all, I didn't wait long enough for it to dry, and it's not as crisp of a line as I would have liked. I probably should have used a fatter pen, but that's okay. I can make it bigger later. Most of these videos that I'll be doing, I will try to keep them to, so this is sped up in double time. So it was actually about an hour-long session in real time, and I just doubled it to make the video a little more digestible. So because people are busy and they don't want to, you know, sit and look too long. This is a good speed. Might explore going slightly faster, but we'll see. So here I'm taking the picture. Because I kind of can't see it, right? So you're actually getting that's actually what I do. I looked at it and I went, oh, okay, I want to do this. So this is there's a Posca marker. I kind of call these lines like electricity. I'm just coming back and sort of adding in some uncontrollable lines, if you will, and then I sort of come back over them again. And it makes these little shapes, and then I sort of apply the marker again. I'm sorry I'm off camera here, you'll see in a minute, but I realized that I did it, and I just kind of go back over the shapes and round off the corners a little bit and just sort of make it a little bit more bold and powerful. But we're almost getting to the end here, so I hope you liked it. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope that you feel inspired to do something creative. If I can help you with that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comments anything that you're feeling. Maybe you had a reaction to the piece, and anything you want to share with me. I want to hear it all. Okay, so we're just about done here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next creative exploration. Bye now.